What up, my adventurers? We are back. We have 3 kits left of Slaine, and I've already recorded the first battle report. Oh, it's getting exciting around here. Right, today we are painting the Badb, so let's just get into it. Let's go. So, who are the Badb? I am turning to the Slaine rulebook to get the info, because there weirdly isn't a lot online. But anyway, in the rulebook, it's got, of the children chosen for sacrifice to the Lord Weird, those that caught his eye in some way were spared and raised as Drunes and priestesses. Once grown to adulthood, these formidable warrior witches serve as priestesses and bodyguards to Slough Feg, utterly dedicated to the Lord Weird and the worship of Crom Cruach. 3 of the Badb, Nemon the Venomous, Fair the Hateful, and Cathbad the Fury, fought Slaine when he was to be sacrificed to the worm god in the vast Wicker Man. Now that's it. That is all the book says for him. I'm just going to quickly double check against the internet, but it pretty much says the same. Early devoted to Lord Weird. They are a combination of trainee Drunes / warriors, and they can be pretty deadly. Now, they are counted as characters, I believe. Yep. And they come in at Notoriety 5 each, so they're okay. They're not anything exciting. They are move 5, shoot 3, fight 3, evade 1, resist 3, cool 3, and devoted to Feg. So the notoriety of 5 means they're on par with Ukko and Cathbad. So they're not that scary. It's pretty sad, actually, that they're not that scary. They only have 1 skill devoted to Feg, which allows them to exchange places with Feg if he is engaged in combat and is within 3 inches of a Badb. Furthermore, should Feg suffer an injury or stun marker whilst within 3 inches of one of them, that marker may instead be placed on them. So they ultimately are very cheap bodyguard units for the Weird Lord. That's pretty cool, but not a lot else to say about them. They have either 2 weapons or a spear. That's it. There's not a lot to say about these guys. If they have the swords, they get the defender skill. And if they have the spear, they end up with versatile, which lets you use specials as either an attack bonus or as a defense bonus, which you have to pick at the start of combat. Whereas the swords just let you defend better. I don't think I'd actually pay to do the spear. I know one of them has it, so she'll always have it. But yeah, I think ultimately there's no real bonus to upgrading. Yeah, you might be able to attack a bit better, but if you're attacking with them, I think you've played them wrong already. You should be using them as cheap bodyguard units, and that is purely all they're good for. But we got plenty of time now, so we are going to talk about the paint job. Right, so to kick things off, I obviously primed them all black like I always do. Then I gave it a very heavy dry brushing of the golden maple, a fair skin colour. As you all know with my Slaine videos, this is my go-to flesh tone now. I really like it. It just works for me, so I stick with what I know works. Once the prime and the dry brush was completed, I went over all the skin with the fair skin fully, completely blocking it in on all 3 characters to give me this nice base coat that I can work off with all the washes that I might be doing. Talking of washes, we then moved on to the Citadel colour shade Reichland Flesh. I just love this. This is no secret. I've done all my skull swords. I've done most of the Earth Tribe in this way. I find the golden maple flesh tones as a base coat with this over the top. It just works. And I'm a lazy painter. I'll put my hand up to that one. And when I find something that works for me, I just stick to it. And this works for me. So I'm not going to change that up anytime soon. As you can see, I just loaded up my brush and I'm going to slap it on. Now, I'm going to be honest. I use this 1 brush for the entire model. I don't swap brushes. As I've mentioned, I'm a lazy painter. I am currently using the Warlord games. What do they call this one? I think the writing has actually come off at Warlord Games Brush 1. It's pretty straightforward. I would say it's a base brush. There's nothing special to it. But with that done, as you can see, it dries beautifully. We can start blocking in some other colours. So we're going to grab the camo green. Warlord Games did some nice tartan on their models. I'm not going to do that at this stage. I just want these tabletop ready, get them in the display case with all the other Slaine figures, and then hopefully some point in the near future, I'll be able to paint them up, give them a bit more detailing. But for now, I just want them painted. I want them off the shelf of shame. I want them in the cabinet, out of the way, and when they get used in a game, I will do some extra touches just to make them pop a little bit more. As you can see on this first model, which is going to be the main one that I do all the video around, she's armed with 2 blades. I'm just carefully picking out the waist area and the ankles, and then I'm just going to block it all in. She's actually got the most green on her out of the 3 models. The other 2 have, I guess, toga type lower halves. I don't know what you'd call it. And they're not going to take as long as this model to paint. But the other 2 models, I guess, show a bit more flesh. It's quite an interesting little kit because you got the 2 with 2 close combat weapons. So you got the one that I'm painting currently, which has 2 blades. And then there's the second one with the mohawk. She's got a blade and an axe. These guys come with the rule Defender. So when they're rolling their attack dice in close combat, any of the 2000 AD symbols you roll become a additional defense dice, which is super good. Right here you can see the mohawk. So they're quite a defensive unit. That's meant to represent the warrior parrying in close combat. It's a nice enough rule. I don't know. It's a bit basic. Anyone with a sword basically has that. So it's a very common trait to have in-game. Or you could upgrade to the war spear, which this one has. And that gives you versatile. So you get to choose, which is quite nice. You can either be offensive and your 2000 ADs count as an attack, or you be defensive and your 2000 ADs count as shields. So it's really up to you, the gamer, to pick which way around you want to do it. We then move on to the hair. For this model, I'm using the Fire Giant Orange because I wanted bright, bold, very strong looking hair color on this first one. She was giving me Red Sonja vibes, so I was just going to lean into that idea. The Mohawk axe wielding one, I go with the Sand Golem. And then for the Spear Lady, I've got the Grim Black, will be her hair color. And while I got that black paint out, we are going to also do some of the strapping on the different models. And while that's drying, I'll grab the dark wood. We are going to be using that on all the weapon pommels, shafts, whatever they're called, the handles. And I'm just going to carefully work my way around the models, getting them nice and clean. This model doesn't actually have a lot in the way of wood, but the other 2 have a lot more on them. Well, I say that. We have the axe handle on the Mohawk lady, and we have the spear shaft on the actual spearsman. So she's obviously going to get the most out of this paint, whereas the other 2 just get a nice simple touch-up of colour on it. Right, now we are on to the hardened leather. This is going to be used on the shoes, anything, the belts, anything that I've missed that I didn't want to do in dark wood. So we're getting pretty close to the end here. But we're just going to make sure I load up the brush, get it on nice and smooth. Going to cover the feet on this model. The other 2 are barefoot. She's the only one who actually has shoes on. On the other 2, I'm going to use it on the braces, the belt buckles, things like that I don't really need to have them standing out, but I definitely want paint on it so it's not just the dull grey left over. And then we're on to the Gravelord Grey, which I'm going to use on what should be the metallic areas. So we're thinking swords here, the spearhead, and the plate mail. Once this is all dried, I'm going to work on the base, make them match the rest of my sets, and then we'll have some glamour shots. Now, I did do one extra step. I did a quick dry brush of a Stormhost Silver across the metallics. The Gravelord was just looking too dark. It wasn't working for me, so I swapped it out and just did a little dry brush, but you'll see that at the end. And as always, I appreciate you stopping by. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Enjoy these shots, and I'll catch you in another video real soon. Until then, cheers for watching. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and then go watch this one. This one up here. Give it a click. Bye-bye.